Hello, hello, people. How's my microphone? Haven't caught a stream in a while. Yes, you're correct with that. I, I'm guessing it's well, there hasn't been a stream in a while, so it's nice to be doing one again. Though I'm probably gonna be quite rusty if if I haven't streamed in a while. It's always hard to get back into it. But yeah, I checked the mic, and the reason I ask is because it's the mic that I dropped, and I thought that I broke it, and it sounded all crusty um, on my other, on my laptop, right? But I guess it's something with the laptop then, because it sounds completely fine now. So I don't know. I don't know what's going on with that. Yeah, that's good then. That's good. I'm doing all right. I'm doing all right. I've been working on things in the background, but definitely not at the pace that I would want to be doing things. I did take a break, of course, right? A little bit of a break. But now I want to get back into things. So Big Man sounds tired somehow. No, no, I'm not tired. It's like my normal waking hours at the moment, so I'm not tired. But what I was wanting to do was draw some scenes of war. Yeah, no more procrastination, exactly. Uh, but yeah, I wanted to draw some scenes of war. We did it already in a previous stream, but I didn't finish any of them. And I don't really want to I don't want to draw those old scenes. Like I have this thing where if I leave something alone for too long, it molds. So I don't feel like wanting to work on it because it's already past its due date. So I have to do it again. Like I have to start from scratch again to get that excitement of wanting to finish it going. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna draw some more war scenes to hopefully depict the war finally in all its horrid, sad, and depressing glory. Um, Let me tell you what so what I'm thinking with the war scenes is um I'm not gonna depict any fighting because that's not the point of the war. Or it's not the part that I find interesting about the war. It's more the environments that are left behind after war happens. So we will mostly be drawing still scenes, scenes of things that are stagnant, even though it's a war zone where things are moving and blowing up and stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, I have some sketches in my sketchbook, but let's write down some requirements of what I wanted to capture with different scenes. Oh, right, I forgot. The thing I need to do when I stream is pull up the chat on my phone. I forgot I had to do that. Are we gonna be listening to Sabaton? What is that? So the aftermath. Yeah, yeah, showing the aftermath. Because the focus isn't the action, so I don't want to make it seem like it's this bombastic action-filled war. You know, that's not the feeling I'm trying to capture. Okay, now I can see the chat. So, the sketches I've done already is one that depicts the rats, right? Scavengers. Also, hold on. What brush is this? Right, it's this brush. I have the I used the original of this brush on my laptop the whole time I was away, and honestly, I like the original version of the brush I turned it into. So this is the brush I turned it into. This is the original of what this used to look like. I tweaked some things to make it fit with how I like brushes, but I ended up not having that preset on the laptop, so I used the original instead. And honestly, I like the original more now. So that's what I'm gonna be using is the original. Yeah, just because it has more texture. It just has more texture. I wanted to make the lines darker, but it ended up making the texture disappear. Drink 4 cups of espresso. Well, the coffee doesn't work on me, sadly, or it doesn't work on me. It doesn't work for me. I've I've tried drinking coffee before, but I don't feel any more awake or tired or anything when drinking coffee. But yeah, let's war. And also, I'm gonna start a recording. Oh, Ritfinch, hello. Welcome to the stream. At my desk at work. Good to see you, Simon. Yeah, good to see you too, Ritfinch. I'm glad to see you in chat. Also, all the other people I know as well. Roken, Insanity, Randy, of course. Probably a bunch that I've missed as well. But yeah, welcome all of you. And all the other people. No. I'm just fidgeting with stuff on my desk. Hold on, uh I gotta get focused. Okay, war is a key part of the artistic process. I guess so. So, feelings that I want to invoke are dread, weirdly enough, melancholy. Uh, don't be bothered by my spelling if it's wrong, because I just don't care about spelling much. That's my excuse. I'm just bad at spelling. Melancholy, uh, horror to a certain extent, I guess, but I'm not trying to, like, intentionally be like, oh, scary, or something. It's more like a war is horrifying to a certain degree. To a certain degree, yes, it is horrifying. Why do I have to add the to a certain degree? Um, Gothic? Nah, not really. Depressing, I guess. Oppressive as well. Kind of a shell shock feeling. Yeah, maybe. Oppressive? Maybe 2 S's, I don't know. I'll add a third one in there just in case. There you go. So, muddy, wet, yeah. Muddy, wet Futile. Futile. Yes. These are good feelings. I mean, good for the war, not good feelings. Okay. So the scenes that I had in my sketchbook, I'm going to sketch them out really roughly so you have an idea of what we're working with. And we're going to try to basically flesh out each of the scenes or maybe make new scenes to hopefully capture all the elements that we want to. And I want them to be like nice tight packages of environments. Like they're not just they more to them. There's more to them, right? Hopefully I can capture that somehow without just making it look like boring background stuff. Like the background stuff is the interesting stuff, right? And we'll see how we can capture that. So, let's see. I have Can I just I think I should just take a picture of this actually and then just send it into my computer. Yeah, hold on, let me do that instead. Give me a second while I... Oh, by the way, the reason there's chat on the screen... Hold on. I should probably make it smaller, actually. It's quite big. The reason there's chat on the screen is because I want to edit this into a video later. So it will be easier to have chat on screen to reference if, for example, I interact with chat a lot. If I had to edit the video without the chat, then I would have to separately pull up the chat on the stream on YouTube to get the messages that I'm talking about. You know, so will just be easier. Ong suggests this to me because the idea is Ong, my friend, wants to edit streams into videos for me. But obviously he doesn't know how I want them to be edited. So the plan is for me to do like a bit of one or maybe a full one myself first to show him like this is the style of editing I want. What are the points of interest and stuff like that that I want to focus on and that sort of thing. But yeah, let me take some pictures. Okay. Okay, not sure how much I can do with that. Do the guns in your world use metal cartridges? No, it's gunpowder. It's still like musket era. Okay, let's see. I gotta send this to myself somewhere. Hold on. Okay, now I can... Okay, here's the first page that I have. Oh, I gotta pull up the chat again. That is so clunky. Okay. There. Wait, no. There. Oh, I accidentally posted it twice. Here, this is the first page that I sketched up. I also had some other ideas with Shabby and Sedeka. They suggested having fingers for coins, and I like that idea a lot. So I like expanded on it a little bit by making it so like the currencies are separated into pinkies, fingers, and thumbs. So thumbs are like it would be like 10 pinkies or one finger, and 10 fingers is one thumb currency wise. Like a pinky would be like a piece of candy or something like that, you know, street vendor candy or bread loaf, something like that. So you can sort of imagine how that goes up. Uh, but but yeah, this is the scene that I thought of. It's not really depicting anything in particular. I just like the angle of it, like sort of lower down into the trench. Um, just the image itself, I like. I want to cut it off like here because this is separate. Yeah, something like this. Then I have um I wanted an angle like this. God, this is so blurry. Well, on one hand, it is adding a lot of Easter eggs. Uh, that is fun, but also on the other hand is to sort of try and depict a story within the background instead of just like for example, if there's like corpses around and stuff, how did the corpses get there? Why are they there? You know, you could try to or sort them or put them in ways or put them there in ways that made it seem like something happened, you know, and you might be able to clue in on what happened by looking at the environment. Oh, Roken, thank you for the 20 euros. Appreciate it. Hey, nice to have you stream again. Don't know if it fits, but when it comes to war depictions and the seemingly World War One like conditions, I think Otto Dix could be a good inspiration, especially his work, The War. Okay, let me search that up right now. Also, but yeah, appreciate the donation. Thank you very much. Um, Auto. Huh. I've never seen this person's work before. It looks interesting though. The mood is very nice. Especially the war piece you said. Yeah, that one does look really good. It's interesting that it's separated off into like 4 panels. Hmm. Neat. But yeah, the second image that I wanted to do, this is completely illegible, but the idea for me was that I wanted to do a cutaway image of the trenches, like something like this, where it shows the trenches, right, with the sandbags and the broken trees and like people lying in them. Like that. And then I wanted to show the like how complex the underground network of tunnels and trenches is. So I was going to draw like a barracks or something, or like an abandoned barracks, which would be, you know, expected to exist with beds and stuff. But then it would have like a secret entrance under the bed that goes into like larger and just winding tunnels and rooms, uh which is the rats doing. You know, the trench rats that live within the trenches and stuff. I wanted them to be like they have entrances into their tunnel system that are very hidden, like like trapdoor spider esque. You know, like dirt on the top, so you can't really tell that there's an entrance until they pop up the lid and stuff. So, for example, like here on the side of a wall or something, uh, like yeah, like here on the side of a wall, and there's like dirt normally, but then like there's this like hidden trap door, that's just some wooden slats, uh, like this, but it has like dirt piled on top of it and stuff to blend around or blend in with the environment, and has like sticks and stuff. I would expect them to use shovels. Their own mouths, perhaps? They're people. I doubt the most efficient way for people to be digging trenches would be using their mouth or digging tunnels. Some powder gets in front of the round and would make the whole cylinder go off, ripping off your hand. That's the barrel. Yeah, I know. They were known to do that. That's why they weren't used in war. But fun thing is, it's fantasy, so I can use whatever I want. And revolving guns are cool, so that's exactly what we're using. And we can just avoid the problem of having them blow up in people's hands by just saying it's fantasy. Or just changing the gun design and adding some shit in front of the barrel so they don't ignite each other. It's a little bit of something to improve it. Improve the suspension of disbelief a little bit. Yeah. What's the other images? Hold on. Let me get through these first, and then we can start talking about other things. Okay. So I also have this. This is definitely a scene that I do want to have, which is this one. So you can sort of see that I was thinking about having a scene that's like more top down, right? So the battlefield is here, with people walking through it, this direction, and the camera is more like up here and looking down on them. And it like sort of stretches off into the distance with the trenches and stuff. I've tried to do. The recording has stopped due to failing while writing frames. Please check disk space. Oh, I've ran out of disk space. Wonderful. Uh, I guess that'll be it for for the recording. But we can still stream, which is nice. But yeah, I've tried to do this shot multiple times and have failed. So I really want to get it right. With trenches stretching off into the distance, and the place that they came from is visible like very faintly within the fog. The thing that's gonna save me with this image would be the fog, because there's a lot of fog and dust and things obscuring your vision in the war zone. So I don't actually have to draw the whole trench system up until the giant bunker city. Only until the fog starts obscuring things, and then the silhouette of the bunker cities in the background. The bunker cities being like these giant structures that hold people. Introduce a weak point so that if something like that happens, the explosion goes in a safe direction. Oh, I didn't know that. What happens if something eats a dead mage? Would even something happen? You'd be full, most likely. you'd become full, and then say, mm, yum yum, and then you'd move on with your day. Uh, you're moving on with your mundane cannibal life. Do you have any characters? Yes, yes, we do. But the focus now is on the war. Might I suggest looking at Trench Crusaders? I know that. Uh, I know his art. It's very good. But yeah, this is the scene that I want to get most right. And then I was also thinking about some scenes of soldiers being impaled on stakes. Uh, but still not sure how I want to depict that scene. If it's like a smaller one that doesn't show like a large area and it's just like a shot of people being impaled or something. There's a good reason behind it, by the way. Because Ram soldiers believe in like the god of magic being underground and them wanting to join them in the afterlife and stuff like that. Sometimes Ram soldiers that are very desperate and are about to die sort of compulsively start digging their own grave, like they start digging down to bury themselves. And sometimes Varus people, obviously disliking the Ram, they don't allow them to like dig themselves into the ground and just stick them as high as possible instead. So you will see like Ram soldiers uh, up on stakes, to deny them their death in the earth that they want. Uh, but yeah, last panel is or last drawing I had was just something with some rats. Come on, post it. Why is it not? I screenshotted it and it's not. Oh great! I accidentally opened DaVinci. Now I have to wait for it to open and then close it again. There you go. The last scene that I had in mind was just a scene of some rats scavenging bodies, but then like I want something to come around the corner at the end or like be looming in the distance that maybe spooks them or something. So this would be a scene that shows obviously the rats, the inhabitants of the trenches, the entrance to like their secret little holes and underground tunnels, and then also some other danger in the background. I was thinking of doing a like a zombie or something, or one of the zombies we designed that time that were like the ones with the hole in the face and then the tendrils coming out like this. Like that. Actually, just out of curiosity, because I'm a curious man, fair enough. How does artillery work in your universe? Like, are there just normal black powder cannons, or are they breech loaded, or are they magical? I mean, you just I doubt people would I mean, they just invented the same way we invented our artillery, so they would probably just be cannons. They are just cannons. You can definitely modify some with magic. You can have magic cannons as well, and that's what they would have. They would have normal cannons, they would have bigger cannons, they would have magic cannons. There'd be all kinds of different types of cannons. Um, when it comes to the tank, the tank one for the crawling king, like the head cannon is breech loaded, like it's loaded from the back instead of the front, because obviously you can't get to the front of the gun from inside the tank. Yeah. Oh, right, and there was another scene, which I wanted to depict the horror of a mage, uh, but I didn't want to show the mage, right? So here's the fun part. I was like, okay, I want to show how horrifying mages are without actually showing a mage being horrifying. So the idea that I came up with was that I was going to draw a scene of like burnt bodies in a trench, piled high on top of the entrance or into the entrance of a bunker. So they're sort of like petrified in a panic, if that makes sense, like all clamoring to get into the trench and just burnt to a crisp, but like sort of carbonized into their, just statues pretty much. And the idea that I was thinking about was, well, uh, uh, fire mages, combustion mages are pretty much like forest fires, walking forest fires. And a thing that happens sometimes in real life when it comes to like indoor fires and stuff like human pileups happen. If people start panicking and try to get out of a space all at once, sometimes they clog up doorways and hallways and start piling on top of each other, and no one can get out. Um, so I was like, oh, well, if I were to run into a horrifying walking forest fire, I'd also try to get away as fast as possible. And if 30 of my friends also think the same exact thing and all try to go into one way, they'll get stuck. Um, so it's obviously not reasonable that all of them are trying to stuff themselves into a little bunker, but in a panic, yeah, in a panic, I feel like it'd be an interesting scene to see just pile of dead bodies or burnt bodies. I haven't made a video that covers the main plot yet. I'm trying to. That's why I'm planning to make the next video about the war, so that I can finally like start fleshing things out. So the war video would basically be laying out the general things that are happening within the world. So basically, there's the two countries that are currently at war. There's Ram and there's Varus, and then there's the third country that's Burla, or the city of Burla. And then also just like laying out the general ideas of what's within the trenches, what the trenches look like, what the war looks like, and then there's the soldiers of both sides that are trying to get at go at each other, for how who knows how long they've been going at it for. Most soldiers, probably all soldiers, don't even know how the war started anymore. They're just fighting a war that they were born into, and also then showing the rats and the trenches and the weird inhabitants and weird happenings within the trenches, like the zombies and the rats, the burla men, the crawling kings and the mages and shit like that. Obviously, I don't think I can cover all of it in one video, but I can definitely start picking away at it. There's a plot. I thought it was just lore. Well, it it is just lore. Mostly the main focus of the world is just the world itself. But an interesting way to depict lore in nice ways is to make stories. So inevitably you have to have plot, or I have to have plot, because for example, I could just tell you about the world like an essay, but that's boring. And it is a lot more fun to hear it from the perspective of a soldier that has survived a horrible situation, and him telling you about it, which inevitably turns into plot. But it's not like there's an overarching, like we're not following an overarching narrative of we follow our hero's journey or something like that. No, it's small little stories of people in the world, or things that happen. So there's small plots, you know, little stories. The Burlemen I will get into in the video. I can't tell you about them, or I don't want to tell you about them until the video comes out. But I do want a picture that depicts the Burlemen as well, which could just be an image of. I was thinking that it would be an image of like some soldiers resting in a trench, wounded and hurt, and it's nighttime, you know, raining, thunder, and stuff like that, and they just see the silhouette of a Burleman like standing. What could not save stuff, cannot open file for writing reasons. Oh, right, I have no space. Hold on, I gotta really fix this. I don't have any space left anymore. Let me just delete, like, hold on. Let's see. Yeah, I need to get more space for my computer, because I thought 500, it sounds stupid. I thought 500 gigabytes would be enough. 500 gigabytes was not enough. It definitely wasn't. Yeah, where? There you go. I'm just gonna delete like a bunch of the old art then, which is fine. So I'll just remove that folder. There you go. Yeah, I know it can't save. That's why I'm trying to fix it. Okay, clear, empty recycling bin. There you go. Do I have some space now? I have 3.6 more gigabytes. That's good. There you go. You can save it now. But yeah, I was gonna draw like a scene of some wounded soldiers and them seeing a Burleman or Burleman sort of looming over the trenches in all his naked glory. Yeah. But I don't know how to, you know, because they're silhouetted and it's dark, I hope to be able to cover the said naked bits, so I don't actually have to draw those. The sad thing is I would, how do I word this properly? I think it's necessary that they're naked, right? But I have to sort of obviously dodge the not allowing to have his cock out in YouTube videos. I don't think that's, yeah, I don't think having a drawing of a dude with his cock out in a YouTube video will be okay. So I sort of have to, you know, do the obscuring like shadow hiding crotch area. So that's probably how I'm gonna do it. No, listen, okay. The reason I want them to be naked is because of how weird that is. The whole point is to have it weird, right? Because if you're a soldier in a trench, right? You're clad in armor, protective gear, all your weapons, all your uh like pouches, bandoliers, fucking guns and everything, and you just see a naked dude walking around. It's just like, what the, you know, like, what? What the fuck is this guy? Like, who is that guy? Why is he just naked, walking like it's another, you know, casual day? It doesn't make sense, and I think that's it's necessary for the sake of the art. Oiled up, yeah, oiled up. I listen, hear me out. The oiled up buff men are necessary for my world building. It's necessary, god damn it. Yeah, I wanted them to be very burly and hairy, like big beards, big hair, you know, hot, big muscles, no, juicy. Okay, okay, enough, enough, enough. Do you have a comic? If not, did you ever consider making one? Yes, I did consider making one, though I do not have the patience to make a I admire people that make comics and manga and stuff like that because I can't draw the same thing that many times. Like not the same thing, the same characters. Like you know how many hundreds and thousands of times you have to draw a character in different poses, angles, expressions throughout a comic. I can't get myself to do that. I can at most draw someone like two, three times maybe, and then I'll get sick of them. So yeah, maybe it's like the inside of like a sort of little hubble on the side of a trench wall. And it's like the soldiers camping out like this, so you see like the background here, but you don't see the face. So it's just like the body down, just a dude. I don't think he'd get that close though. I feel like he'd be like further away like that. Why can't I draw? No. Hello, Ong. Oh, right. So other things that I still need to depict in the art that I can't forget is I need to depict the leeches. Leeches, uh, leeches, rats, and vermin. The witch bells. The trench city, I got that one. These are like little details that I need to shove into each of the panels. So, can't think of anything else that I need actually. Come on. Um, I do want a scene with rain, and then another one at night. Hmm. Yeah, I mean, the why can't I draw? It's because sometimes you forget to deselect something very often, or I forget to deselect something very often that, well, I'm on the wrong layer, or, forgot to change from eraser. Like, there's a lot of things that can accidentally happen that you don't notice that makes it so you can't draw anymore and you have to do something first. So I just say that a lot. What happened was I to deselect something, I normally just click away with the deselect or with the select tool somewhere to deselect the whole thing. But sometimes if you don't click perfectly and it slides a little bit, it selects a tiny fucking area instead. And so, I I still can't draw. Uh but yeah, so I guess what we can do now is try to depict these scenes better because the drawings that I have in my sketchbook suck, and it'd be good to try and depict them better. The first scene that I want to do, I think, is going to be the the rat one because it's small. It's it yeah, it's small. Let's start easy first, and then ramp up to this one, which is probably going to be the hardest. I have a whole video called My Setup that's about everything that I use, so you can just look at that on the YouTube channel. Yeah. Rats. Yeah. Also, the reason I was thinking the rats have like such long masks is because, or obviously not all of them have long masks, but because uh they still believe in like the miasma thing. So it's the plague doctor situation, right? They believe in miasma and bad air, so they stuff their gas masks with herbs and other things to try and make it smell better. Um it's just a belief that they have. Yeah. And also I just think it would be a funny thing for them to do. Like just the idea of having uh other people refer to you as rats and then you just going, "You know what? Sure, I'll be a fucking rat." And then you just like get some like leather scraps and put some ears on your fucking mask just for just to fuck with people. Yeah, I find that funny. If I was a rat in the trenches and people kept calling me rats, I'd be like, "Fuck it, I'm embracing it and just become rat." You know? Yeah, and then we can have it that they have like raggedy cloth and stuff like that that drags behind them, so it looks like a tail. I don't know what weapon, fucking random hammer, axe, whatever. Tactile and visceral your designs are. Thank you. Appreciate it. Okay, second time times the chart. Do you have a methodical approach to developing ideas, or do you just get inspired randomly? Uh, it depends. Sometimes I know that I need something specific, and then I, go through the motions, do research, think about what I can take inspiration from, look things up. But some other times it's just, oh, I like that thing. Let me put that in the world, and then just go for it. Really depends. Everything I do is very sporadic. Like, none of it really stays consistent. But yeah, I was gonna do a scene, like... I'm struggling to think of things right now. Like, Thank you for the cheese in chat. Appreciate it. Cheese is good. But yeah, I have thought about the rats that live in the trenches to sort of be a little different from normal people. Like evolutionary, you know? Um if they've been in the trenches and like in dark tunnels and stuff like that for like a really long time, I feel like they would start being smaller as well. Like they would just be more small and hunched people. Um in general, like the average height of rats that live in the trenches might be less than, the average of people outside the trenches. Do you have a streaming schedule? No, not yet. I want to have one, but I'm trying to get back into things at the moment. Still a little rocky. Uh, everything's still a little bit of a mess, you know. So I'm trying to slowly get myself back into art and doing things. Could animals that are not magical cast spells? Like if you were equip them with the necessary equipment's thimble? No, I don't think you could teach a cat to cast random spell. I mean, it would have effects on their bodies, but then you'd have to teach them to take in mana, which would sort of be the roadblock. I think the roadblock would be teaching them to get mana into themselves. Unless if you really want them to cast random spells, then you could force mana into them, and then their system would just do with that whatever it likes. So they would probably, I mean, animals being simple, I don't know what kind of effects them having magic would have, because we have the idea of like mages have to practice a long time to keep their emotions and thoughts in check, because when they have mana in their system, basically you subconsciously just start using mana, like very small amounts of it, that get used up by your thoughts, to do things that you don't realize. So there was a mage that was so stressed with his work, right? I don't know if I said that in the video or not, actually. There's a mage that was like very good at his at magic, but he was so stressed and like focused on study and work that he was like in his dorm or room studying away, and then literally started like curling in on himself and suffocated on his own flesh. So magic can affect you even if you're not intentionally casting spells over a long enough period of time. So if you put mana into a random creature that isn't magical, then I don't know. what would happen to that creature. I feel like one thing would be the the general instincts of that creature will become heightened. Like the emotions that that creature already have become heightened. So if a creature is tends to be aggressive, mana might encourage that even more to make them like very aggressive. So perhaps it would also cause changes that are literally like they could be beneficial to the creature actually if you think about it. If a creature is very simple minded and it thinks about food and eating food and hunting food, then if they have mana in their system, it would probably start making it so the creature can hunt food, eat food, and you know do it better or more. So maybe fangs grow longer or more teeth sporadically start growing or their muscles become thicker and stronger and faster. Depends, I guess. Love the content. When I found you, I binged all your channel. Wish I could donate, but I'm poor. Oh, don't worry. Just being here is good enough already, but thank you. Appreciate it. I'm working on more, alright? Please be patient. We'll get more videos for people to watch eventually. I mean, this is one we're working on right now. We don't know if they're souls or not. The people believe that they're souls, but it has not been confirmed or denied that souls exist. Same way as in our world, some people claim they exist, some people don't, but the general consensus is definitely more towards people believing that souls exist. Because, like, religiously, most people are very religious in the world, and in both religions, both centrism and xenophism, an afterlife does sort of exist. Well, not really an afterlife. They believe there's a location that is like hell that they believe exists. So there's the god of the forge, right? That's a giant serpent that has multiple heads, like a hydra, that coils around the world and fuels all the forges and volcanoes around the world, right? And they believe that hell is inside the stomach of that giant snake. So when the god of death takes you away and weighs your good deeds against your bad deeds, uh, it chooses to either feed you to the giant serpent and you go into its stomach where hell is and burn and cook for eternity before getting shit out, um, and basically become fuel for the fire of the forges, or if you were a good little boy, uh, I I regret saying that immediately after I said it. I'm committing to it. Fuck it. If you were a good little boy when you were alive and you get resurrected, or if you and you get taken away by the god of death, he will bring you to the snake, right, the god of the forge. But the god of the forge will reforge you into something else. So reincarnation, pretty much. They believe in that sort of idea of you get reincarnated, and depending on how good you were in real life, in your life, it means how what thing you get turned into in the next life. You know, like, oh, if you were like a really good person, you'll get to be a person again. If you were like all right, you'll probably get reborn as a dog or like a cat, you know, something like that. I actually did do an illustration of the god of death. The colors are not accurate yet. I still need to play around with the colors, but I really like how the gods are going right now. Because me, Shabby, and Sadeka are sort of like brainstorming, and we had a talk about the gods, and we sort of made up all these like wonderful connections between gods and deities, like the classic sort of stories you would think of when it comes to gods and deities, like classic Greek gods where there's stories between gods and stuff like that. This is the god of death. Um, I was thinking that this would be a depiction on a like crumbling Verutian temple. So there's pieces missing, but mostly, surprisingly, mostly intact. But the oh, I'm gonna have to make videos about this, but fuck it, I want to tell you about it, so I'm gonna tell you about it. Um, the there's stories, right, about the gods, and one of them is about the god of death. And as you might be able to see, they have this very pretty, beautiful shawl, sort of around them, and also have like the sun and moon to each side of them. Uh, the story basically being that uh, the god of death collects souls and brings them to the afterlife, or to the god of the forge to reforge them or be eaten in hell. um and so the Loki type god that we have in our world, which is, I don't have a good name for him yet, but let's call him the god of hustle for now. Hustle University god, fucking Andrew Tate style. What color is your Bugatti god? Basically, he's the god of survival, opportunistic, uh, he, like doing things for your own self-preservation, you know? Uh, opportuni- yeah, opportunists, I guess. The god of opportunists, whatever adjective. I don't know how to say the word. Opportunistic? Opportunists? Whatever. The grind set god, yeah. The god of scams as well, sure, I guess. The god of scammed, being up to his normal schemes, betted or made a bet with the god of death to be like, I bet you can't get this many fucking bodies in or you can't collect this many souls in one day. Some random number. We haven't decided what the arbitrary number is. Um, but the issue was, after the bet was made, the god of death was clearly going to win. He was fucking working overtime and collecting souls as much as he could, and he was gonna reach the number before the day was over, or the time frame they decided on was over. And the god of hustle was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna lose the bet, this can't happen. So what he did was, the god of hustle went to the god of luck, which is a spider, by the way, which Shabby or Sadeka, I forgot who it was, I think it was Shabby, drew like a wonderful illustration of the spider god of luck. But the god of luck basically spins webs that collect luck, right? The same way a dream catcher would, or like spider webs. So there's like a whole belief around keeping spider webs around because they catch luck, and also making like sort of dream catcher-esque looking things to catch more luck. But the idea of the god of luck, by the way, isn't just like, oh, I pray to be lucky. No, because it's a spider and it has a web and stuff like that, the whole gist of the god of luck is sort of, yes, it's the god of luck, but you gotta work for the luck. Like, you can't just sit around on your ass and hope to get lucky, you know? You have to actually spin your web. You have to get connections. You have to talk to people. You have to do things to make yourself have a higher chance of getting lucky, right? So it's taboo to blame the god of luck for your misfortune, because if you're, it's not the god of luck's fault if you're being unlucky. Then you should probably have done something else to become more lucky. Shit like that, you know? But basically, okay, sorry. The god of hustle went to the god of luck and was like, dude, I'm gonna lose this fucking bet, right, with the god of death, and I need you to help me out. And the god of luck was like, you know what? I got you, bro. And the god of luck weaved a beautiful, elegant, and very, very long shawl. The golden shawl, this one. He weaved it, or they, I don't know what gender the god is. Weave this beautiful shawl out of the absence of luck. So normally the god of luck spins with luck, but this time they decided to spin with the absence of luck. Not misfortune or unluckiness, just the absence of it. And then, after the shawl was done, the god of death was like, thank you. No, not the god of death. The god of hustle was like, "Thank you, bro. I owe you one," and then took the shawl and basically gifted it to Death. And Death being, I wanted Death to have like a sort of thing with gold, like it does. The god likes gold in some way. I don't know why yet, but the god obviously gaining a gift of this beautiful golden shawl was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. So, the god of death put it on. Um, but the thing was, it was so long and elegant that now every time that the god of death would swoop down to try and collect the souls um, of people, sometimes this beautiful long shawl that it was wearing would get caught in its claws, and then the god of death would miss or be tangled and then have to untangle himself and miss his opportunity and then have to, swoop down again and stuff like that. So there's a chance now after wearing the shawl that occasionally he'll miss because, the shawl gets tangled. So that's sort of the idea behind why sometimes like people come back from the dead. Not like come back from the dead, but if somebody gets a heart attack and they like barely survive and they come back, the belief in the world is that, Luck's shawl got tangled in Death's claws again, right? I'm sorry this is taking me so long to explain. It's the first time I had to say it out loud, so it's a little clunky. Um, but yeah, that's sort of the idea. So there would be sayings in the world, things like little sayings. If somebody was like really close to death, but then miraculously got out of it somehow, you would say, "Oh, you got saved by death's shawl." Saved by death's shawl once again. Stuff like that. Um, Also, the reason the god of death is like a bird like this, and is because I was thinking of the idea of like those birds that swoop down to catch fish in water, like they sort of like missile down and catch fish from the water. So I thought it would fit the idea of the god of death being like a bird that swoops down and catches souls. And going with that aesthetic, I decided that the souls that it would carry to the giant serpent would be held in like a fishing basket. So this like long fishing basket here, and there's like souls, stuck in it, begging upwards, being like, "Oh, please, not yet," or shit like that. But yeah. Also, the idea of the sun and moon being here is because the god of death is merely a bringer. Like he only brings people to the serpent. He's not so he has advisors. The sun and moon are the god of death's advisors that tell him what you have done in your life, right? That's where he gets his information. He's not malevolent, or the idea is he doesn't know it himself. The sun and moon are always the gods that witness everything. You know, so oh god, I'm talking complete fucking gibberish. Birds like shiny things. Yeah, that could work. But yeah, the sun and moon are death's advisors, and they tell death if the person has been good or not. And the belief with the sun and moon, the reason I haven't illustrated it well, but the reason the sun is crying is because uh, the idea is that the sun cries sunflower seeds, and so it's believed that sunflowers are the eyes of the sun. So you shouldn't do anything bad around sunflowers, but just in general, you shouldn't do anything bad. But the idea is that sunflowers specifically are eyes of the sun, and the ears of the moon are a type of fungus that I've designed in my book, but I haven't, drawn it on my computer yet, but I have it in my sketchbook where I sort of sketched out this fungus that looks like a pair of ears, right? And so that fungus is very like it gets into all nooks and crannies pretty much. Like you'll see it a lot throughout trenches and bunkers or like underground bunkers normally. It would grow on walls and stuff like that in like little corners and nooks. Like it's really hard to get rid of it. So the belief is that those are the moon's ears. So don't say anything bad within the earshot of the moon's ears, which is the fungus. So yeah, stuff like that. Yeah, then there's like a lot of other things that tie into that, but I need to stop talking about this because this is not what we are currently working on. What we should be working on is trench scenes. Sorry. Yeah. The idea of the mushrooms was that they do literally like collect sound and spit it out somewhere else. Uh but I don't know how they spit it out yet. No, because okay, the fungus is magical, right? I was thinking that the fungus will be magical. Like there's a spiral within the ear shape of the mushroom, and it literally acts as an ear. Like it hears you. The mushrooms hear you, and it sends these the things that it hears through the veins of the mushroom that reach into the soil and stuff like that. And the reason it does that is because it has a symbiotic relationship with a type of creature from where the mushrooms originate. There's a forest that is it's a forest. Why I need to stop talking when I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. uh there's a forest that's filled with these mushrooms, right? And they have a symbiotic relationship with a type of creature within that forest that can tap the roots of the mushroom to get to hear what the mushroom listens to. And they're basically I don't know if there should be birds or what they should be, but they can mimic sound perfectly as well. So the whole idea of the forest would be that the creatures use the mushrooms to their advantage because they can hear through them. They can hear you before, like from further away, so they can avoid danger and stuff like that. But also, the creatures mimic the sounds that they hear from the mushrooms to make their, like a mating call or something like that. So the weird thing about the forest would be basically your friend could be to the left of you, walking to the left. He says something to you, it echoes into the trees and disappears, so you don't hear him, and then a bird picks it up from the right of you and fucking mimics it back to you, so you hear your friend from the right instead. So the whole sound in that forest is just messed up, pretty much. You'll hear sounds from the wrong directions, and the forest is constantly listening to you, you know? So I thought that was a fun idea, where it would just be a very disorienting forest. And then, of course, if you think about it, that same idea of the creatures being able to tap the roots of the fungus to get what the fungus is listening to, you could make it so that people use it to their advantage and try to figure out how the fungus works so they can make communication systems that work the same way. Have the fungus be on a machine on one end to listen in, and then just have the roots of the fungus lead somewhere else, and then have a device that is able to tap into the roots to listen to it. So you can make pretty much a phone with this, right? Like a weird phone thing. It wouldn't be perfect. I don't think that like the sound quality of a mushroom listening to something would be perfect, but it'd be good enough to make things out maybe. Like perhaps it's like they're still trying to work out the kinks, so it's like you can't really hear words that are being spoken through the ears. It's very gargled on the other end. So perhaps they only use it, but they still have to do like a Morse code type thing where they have to do long hits and short hits because that's like clear enough to be picked up on the other end. Yes, yes, I do have plans for the technology to develop over time. Would these mushrooms be shaped like ears? That's what I've been saying the whole time. Unless you've just come in, but yes, the mushrooms are shaped like a pair of ears. Hold on, let me show you. Um, I'm looking for it. Ah, there you go. I just did like a really rough sketch. Oh, also I said it wrong. I didn't sketch it in my sketchbook. I sketched it on like a random page in my. But here, something like this. So the mushroom would start off like as a pod, so it'd be closed like this. Uh, and then when it blooms, it'll fold open like a butterfly pretty much, and it'll be ears on both sides. Obviously, there's some interpretation that needs to be done. It's not like, ah, yes, this looks exactly like a human ear, because obviously that'd be a little, I don't know. I don't want the mushroom to look exactly like a human ear, so I did some funky stuff. Uh, but yeah, like this, and then the roots of the mushroom obviously like spread off into wherever. Are they edible? I think so. I was thinking that they would be used as a remedy to make you sleepy. Yes, um it doesn't really make sense, but we were thinking that because the mushroom's associated with the moon and moon is nighttime, you know, sleepy. Me 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 me. It made me think that the mushroom that's associated with the moon, which is associated with night, which is associated with sleeping, could be used as like a sleeping remedy. Like it helps you sleep better, something like that. You know, perhaps it's just the shrooms. Yeah. Though I mean, we could modify sunflowers as well. That'd be fun. What kind of ideas sunflowers might be able to have? If you eat them, they vibrate in your mouth. No, no, no. We can't have that. The honk me me me. Yes. Yeah. Okay. What do I need to do? I'm losing track of things. Sorry. It's just because things have been messy, you know. So I've been a mess. Still am. So I just need to get like my thoughts together and actually focus on doing one thing. Also, the stream might not be long. Like I might disappear in like a bit because. Oh, yeah, I might have to head off for now then. I have to head off for now. But I hope you enjoyed the stream for as short as it was. Um, yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I'm probably gonna stream again sometime soon. Apologies for obviously the stream not really involving much drawing happening, but I haven't streamed in a while, so I need to get back into the swing of things. I'm sorry, Lucas. I apologize. Listen, there's gonna be another one. All right, there's gonna be another one. Eventually, who knows when. I'll give you a warning next time, like on YouTube. I'll do like a community post to warn everybody ahead of time that a stream's gonna happen, so that more people get a chance to actually see it. I probably have to do that. I should have done that for from ages ago already. I've not been doing that, but yeah. Yeah. Oh, your name has Thai letters in it, by the way. Hi, thank you for the bug drawing for new design for dwarves. I quite like the bug design, and I made it into a character in my game. I made it with my friends at school, and I don't catch your. Oh wait, Mak, wait, what's your name again? I forgot. Unless I am misremembering the person. Already over? Yeah, yeah. It's already over. I need to. Yeah. John. I'm new. You're new? Wait, but your name is Ty. Are you Ty?อย่าอ้าวดีจังดีว่ามีคนไทยด้วยเพราะปกติchannel ขอใช้คำหยาบหน่อยนะเพราะว่าปกติพูดกับเพื่อนเราพูดหยาบอยู่ใช้กูใช้มึงอะไรแบบเนี้ยเออแต่นั่นแหละปกติเอ่อใน channel กูมันมีคนไทยประมาณ2,000 คนกว่าๆนะก็เลยไม่ค่อยเห็นคนไทยเท่าไหร่ขอต้อนรับสู่ Monster Garden. Welcome to the Monster Garden. Glad to have more Thai people. But yeah, take care, everybody. Take care. I just wanted to finish that up because I was just curious if they were Thai or not. But yeah, take care. I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.